You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 138.2, our girls basketball scoreboard for Saturday's games in Blackford, Delaware, Grant, Howard, Madison, Tipton, and Northern Hamilton counties, with a full recap of the Grant 4 tournament and a conversation with Scott Hunt, who covered the Grant 4 for the Marion Chronicle.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we are honored by your presence. Today is January 5th, 2025. It's a Sunday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana basketball. Coming to you today from Stage 22 in Elwood, producer Susie is back in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. We start today's scoreboard with Saturday's games from our coverage area and other scores of interest. Then we go deeper into each one of Saturday's 7 local games, 4 of which were played at Madison-Grant in the Grant 4 tournament. Before I give you the scores, this is your daily reminder to please go like, subscribe, or follow us at Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or YouTube so you don't miss a single segment. Class 2A number 14 Oak Hill beat defending champion Eastbrook 47-21 in the Grant 4 tournament semifinal, then beat Missisinewa 42-23 to win the first Grant 4 title for the program since December of 2018. Missisinewa beat Madison-Grant 56-28 in the first round, and Eastbrook beat the Argyles 55-51 in the consolation game. Yorktown won its third straight game, 54-41 over Jay County. Marion ran past winless Eastern 74-23. Western won back-to-back games for the first time this season with a 56-46 win over West Lafayette. Pioneer defeated Rossville 49-47 in overtime to win the Delphi Holiday Tournament Championship. Noblesville beat host Huntington North 58-42 to win the Holiday Tournament in Huntington. Clinton Central got past Fort Wayne Blackhawk 48-47 to win the Clinton Central Girls Holiday Tournament. Virtual number 1 Hamilton Southeastern beat number 12 Plainfield 57-55 in overtime. I say virtual number 1 because a new poll hasn't come out since Hamilton Southeastern beat number 1 Lawrence Central. So actual number 1 Lawrence Central beat Merrillville 51-32. Pike got past Lafayette Jeff 76-62. Class 2A number 5 Rensselaer Central beat Central Catholic 54-39. Harrison beat Lebanon 45-37. Garin Catholic had little trouble with Perry Meridian 58-32. Tri-West Edge University 56-49. Wabash beat rival Southwood 59-41. And Southern Wells beat Randolph Southern 65-50. Before we get to our girls basketball roundup, this is your daily reminder to please tell a friend about the Central Indiana Sports Report and help us grow. Just copy and paste this episode in a text and send it to a friend that you think would like the Central Indiana Sports Report, or just send it to all of your contacts. Everyone loves the Central Indiana Sports Report. Oak Hill beat Missisinewa 42-23 in the championship game at the Grant 4 tournament at Madison-Grant. The Golden Eagles' first Grant 4 championship since the 2018-19 season. It was also Oak Hill's second win of the season over the Indians. They beat them 47-23 in a CIC matchup on December 14th. Oak Hill's now 14-1 on the year. They were led in the championship game by senior Liz Godfrey. She led a balanced attack with 11 points. Sophomore Landry Hardman finished with 9. Sophomore Erica Newhouse had 7. Sophomore Morgan Cates finished with 6 points. And freshman Bree Daly had 5. I eavesdropped on Scott Hunt's interview with Oak Hill head coach Kerri Barcomb after her program's championship day.
Talk about playing complete games it seems like maybe every time we talked, I'm sure as through the coach's lenses, you're still seeing stuff, but I felt like tonight was pretty much 32 minutes by your girls.
I would say for the most part, yeah. Their intensity, their energy was really good. Their effort was good. We just had some moments in that first half where we weren't doing the things that we had talked about defensively on how to cover certain things, so that was a little frustrating. But other than that, this was, close enough to 4 quarters, I guess I might be able to give it to them.
Furthering that, it looked like they made adjustments to do what you wanted them to do.
Yes, it was nice when we talked about it at halftime to see them come out and take those adjustments and see how it worked. So that's big. A lot of times you wonder if they hear you. But those girls did a great job of taking what was said in the locker room by the coaches, coming out and executing those things.
It looks like your 2 young big girls are becoming more comfortable every game. I thought Mo was great all day, and Bree had a couple big baskets in the second half tonight. It just looks like they're maybe getting more polished every day.
They are. Each day you can see them getting better and better. They challenge each other in practice, along with Lydia. To see Lydia go down tonight, that was kind of like, oh boy, she's kind of our force inside. She's our talker. She keeps things going. But Morgan and Bree came in and did an amazing job. Morgan's getting so much more comfortable and confidence. You can see her start to take that ball to the basket strong. She has some really nice finishes for us today.
Yeah.
Oak Hill junior Lydia Trexler suffered an injury in the first half of the championship game. She did not return for the second half of the game, but she said she did not think that the injury was one that will linger.
First of all, how are you feeling?
I'm a little sore. My knee's pretty hurt right now, but I was going to go back in, but we just decided that was best just to save me for a different game.
So you don't think it's a long-term issue?
Hopefully not. I'm going to come back in on Monday and see how it feels running. I just really couldn't do the side-to-side movement, which was really important. So I didn't want to go in if I couldn't give it 100%. So.
And what does winning this mean to you? First time for any of your players?
It means a lot. In the beginning of the season, we put this down on our whiteboard as one of our championships we wanted to win, and it was a huge goal, so it just means everything. We've been working hard in the off-season just for this championship. So.
Oak Hill has won 10 games in a row, their longest winning streak in 5 years. I spoke with Golden Eagle senior Liz Godfrey about the way her team has been playing.
Obviously, it's been a great year, but this is one of those that you really wanted, right?
So, I'm a senior. First time in my career. It's a bittersweet feeling. This program, we've busted our butts off. We're 14-1 now. I think we've fought for every last win we've gotten. And it's something special to realize it's showing in tournaments like this now.
So, how good can this team be? What can you guys accomplish this year?
I believe we'll win sectionals. I full-heartedly believe that. We just got to show up ready to go. And I think we can go farther than that, and we'll see where this chapter takes us.
Missisinewa was led by senior Jace Crick, who had 7 points in the loss. Junior Brooklyn Nash and sophomore Ashlyn Baker scored 5 points apiece. In the first round, Oak Hill advanced by beating Eastbrook 47-21. Oak Hill led 22-4 at the end of the first quarter. The Golden Eagles had 10 assists and 13 steals in the win. Landry Hardman led Oak Hill with 11 points. Liz Godfrey had 8. Erica Newhouse finished with 7. Oak Hill will have a big test on Tuesday at home against 12-2 Lewis Cass. Eastbrook was led by senior Mia Bustos with 10 points and 8 rebounds. She finished the day with 34 points and 28 rebounds. Senior Michaela Fox finished with 9 points. Missisinewa advanced to the championship game by beating Madison-Grant 56-28. Missisinewa's second win over Madison-Grant in the last 2 weeks. The Indians led 29-24 at the half, then outscored the Argyles 19-1 in the third quarter. Missisinewa is now 5-9 on the season. They were led by Jace Crick with 17 points. Charlie Ballage finished with 11 points, and sophomore Josie Jones had 9. Ashlyn Baker finished with 7. Missisinewa goes to 2-13 Tipton on Tuesday. I also piggybacked on Scott Hunt's interview with Missisinewa head coach Laura Friday after the Grant 4 tournament on Saturday.
Obviously, I know it's a disappointed locker room that you guys had tonight, but I thought your girls hung in there and fought, and I don't know, just size and not enough shots.
Yeah. No, our girls fought so hard, and we put in a whole new game plan, 2 new offenses, a very different defense than what we're used to playing, and our girls executed so well. It's just we couldn't put the ball in the basket, man. I don't think we had anybody in double figures, so it's really hard to win a game. I said this 2 weeks ago, really hard to win a game scoring 23 points.
Whatever the defense was, it looked like a 1-2-2, 3-2 zone.
No, it was man-to-man, but we just chose who we weren't going to go out to the three-point line on, so we wanted to pack it in, so we weren't giving up free baskets in the lane. And again, I feel like we did a really good job, especially when they went to their ball screen offense, of packing it in and trying to keep the ball out of the paint as much as we could. We gave up a couple too many offensive rebounds, but ultimately, if they score, we have to match it, and we weren't able to match it today.
Madison-Grant led the semifinal game 16-10 after the first quarter. Freshman Grace Wood and sophomore Olivia Dunham scored 8 points apiece for the Argyle. Senior Jasmine Rainey added 6. In the consolation game, Eastbrook beat Madison-Grant 55-51. Mia Bustos and Michaela Fox combined for 47 of the Panthers' 55 points in the win. The Panthers are now 5-9 on the year. Bustos finished this game with 24 points and 20 rebounds. Fox had 23 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Eastbrook hosts 13-2 Wapahani on Tuesday. I also spoke with Eastbrook head coach Alicia Griffin about her team's 1-1 day.
All right, Coach, tell me your feelings on how the day went as a whole.
We came in this morning, played against a tough Oak Hill team, got off to a rough start in the first quarter. Second half, we settled in, and we played them pretty even the second half. And even though we lost that one pretty big, I think that our second half led us to come out strong against Madison-Grant and get off to a good start against them. Played Madison-Grant pretty tough. Good thing we were hitting shots because they were also. They hit 14 three-pointers, but we matched them with 7, and then we got a lot of points inside with Mia.
And it's at this point in the rebuilding process, nice to get wins, especially against rivals.
Yes, no, absolutely. And I think our defense, regardless of them shooting the threes like they did, they shot their threes with a hand in their face. So defensively, I thought we did what we came in to do. They were just hot tonight.
Any players in particular stand out today for you?
Mia, as always, she does a phenomenal job inside, offensively and defensively, pulling down rebounds and hitting the easy points inside the lane. And then Michaela Fox came in, hit 6 3-pointers for us. Wow. and was hot from the outside. So
tell me a little bit about Michaela and what she's brought in the last couple of weeks.
The past couple of weeks, she's added a ball handler for us and an outside threat, kind of alleviated AJ Brenner from having to take so much responsibility out on the perimeter. However, when she was out, freshman Kayla Cochran had to step in and play some big minutes on the perimeter, and so now we're a little bit deeper with being missed Michaela. Those 4 games that she was out. So now we're a little bit deeper on the perimeter.
In the loss to Eastbrook, Madison-Grant was led by senior Madeline Holloway with 15 points on 5 3-pointers. Grace Wood had 13 points. Olivia Dunham finished with 8. And seniors Jasmine Rainey and Marley Neiman scored 6 points apiece in the loss. Madison-Grant is now 3-12. They host 2-13 Tipton on Wednesday. Despite going 0-2, Madison-Grant head coach Jace Martin was pretty happy with the way his team played on Saturday.
Yeah, we're really happy with how the day went. The first half of the Missisinewa game, our morning game, we played really, really well and made some big shots, and then it didn't go so well in the second half of that game. But at the end of the consolation game that we played against Eastbrook, we suddenly stepped back into that and made some more big shots. So much improvement, and it was just a great day of seeing how far the girls have come from the beginning of the year to now. So a lot of positives to take away.
Sounds like it was a pretty good Christmas break for your team.
Yeah, we took some time off and worked on some things that we felt like we needed to work on. Our girls they were excited to play today, both games, and they're making the most of their opportunities to play right now.
And this is something I assume you feel like can boost you forward for another month, and then whatever else comes in the postseason.
We had a game like this last year where we played really, really well, and they were ready to play, and they made good decisions and made big shots. But unfortunately, last year it happened in our last game of the year. This year it's happened now, and we've still got 8-9 games left. So yeah, I'm really excited about what this shows and what we can do for the rest of the year because of today.
And what in particular, a thing or two or three did you like, or players that stepped up, takeaways from today?
I think we found a new level of defensive intensity today, which was huge. We tried some different things defensively, and that was great. We also just made a bunch of shots today. Grace Wood and Olivia Dunham were our leading scorers in the first game. And then Maddie Holloway made 5 3-pointers in the second game. So a lot of that has been really good. But there were times today when we were playing really well. We were whipping the ball around the court. We were making good decisions with our passing, and that was really fun to watch.
The Argyles and Panthers meet again in a CIC contest on January 25th, and both teams' penultimate game. And if you're in my class, you know what the word penultimate means. Yorktown defeated Jay County 54-41. Yorktown held Jay County to 8 points in the first half. The Tigers are now 9-5 overall. That was their third straight win. Junior Lily Sylvester had 17 points and 8 rebounds. Sophomore Olivia Conklin finished with 11 points. She was 3 for 5 from behind the three-point line. She had 4 steals and 3 assists. And senior Claire Hazen finished with 4 points and 5 rebounds. She drew the defensive assignment on Jay County star Haley Schwederman and held her to 5 points through 3 quarters. Freshman Riley Johnson had 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. Yorktown hosts 7-6 Muncie Central on what is apparently going to be a very busy Tuesday in girls basketball. Jay County is now 7-7. Schwederman did lead the Patriots with 16 points, and Elizabeth Brunswick added 10 in the loss. Marion defeated Eastern 74-23. The Giants led 29-6 at the end of the first quarter and 49-14 at the half. Marion's now 7-9. The Giants are at 3-11 Southwood on Wednesday. Eastern falls to 0-14. Junior Elle Winger had 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals to lead the Comets. Senior Kinsey Eagle and freshman Gianna Beachy scored 6 points apiece. Eastern has a couple of really good chances to win their first game of the season this week. They are at 2-11 Cowan on Tuesday and host 3-13 Taylor on Wednesday before they have 6 really tough games to end the regular season. Western defeated West Lafayette 56-46. Western is now 4-11. They have won back-to-back games following a 9-game losing streak. Elise Walden led the Panthers with 21 points. Ella Rawlings had 13, and Rihanna Bowman finished with 10 in the win. Western hosts 7-7 University on Tuesday to try to make it 3 in a row for the first time since starting last year, 13-0. West Lafayette is now 3-11. Please stay tuned for Scott Hunt of the Marion Chronicle with his breakdown of the Grant 4 tournament on Saturday. All right, I'm here with Scott Hunt of the Marion Chronicle in my classroom at Madison-Grant High School, and Scott just took in a day of girls Grant 4 basketball. Oak Hill is the champion, and I leached off of Scott all day, followed him around, let him do the interviews for me, and it was fantastic. So, Scott,
you're too kind.
Well, you know these coaches better than I do, so I just kind of
I know the coaches, but I don't feel like I do very good interviews.
Oh, so. You were fantastic. Anyway, tell me about what you saw today.
I think what happened is kind of exactly what I expected to happen. This afternoon, the morning games, Madison-Grant hung in with Missisinewa through the first quarter, but they've just been so offensively challenged all year. They shot the ball really well in that first quarter and had a 16-10 lead. And the second quarter, they only took 6 shots and had 12 turnovers, and it was all downhill from there. Missisinewa held them to, I want to say, 3 points in the second half and pulled away to a big win. Missisinewa has shown some flashes of, I've been impressed with the job that Coach Laura Friday is doing with those girls coming into this season. They had really had one proven scorer in Jace Crick, and everybody knows Jace Crick, and she's at the top of everyone's scouting report. Well, she's starting to get some offensive production from other places.
In the past, she has been the scouting report.
Yeah.
If you've talked to coaches, it's do you crowd her and try to stop her, or do you try to stop everybody else and kind of take her one-on-one? She kind of is the scouting report most of the season.
Well, and that's, I don't think, the case anymore. She's obviously at the top, but Charlie Ballage, Brooklyn Nash, Avery Wilson, they got a decent production tonight from big senior Emma Wakeman.
By the way, Brooklyn Nash, don't think that nobody saw your good sportsmanship tonight. It was fantastic.
I was impressed by the sportsmanship all day long. There was the 2 radio announcers from Marion thought it was a really physical game tonight, and it was physical. There was a lot of girls on the floor, and just about every time somebody got knocked down, a girl from the other team was helping them up. And
absolutely.
I don't know that you get that in a boys' game between Missisinewa and Oak Hill, but that's definitely good to see. Back to this morning's games, Oak Hill jumped on Eastbrook right away, 22-4 at the end of the first quarter, and it was really no contest. Eastbrook is in rebuilding mode. Obviously, they were the 4-time defending Grant Ford champions coming into the day, but they lost six seniors. The only girl that played last year much varsity time at all, Mia Bustos. She's having a good year, averaging around 12 and 12 a game, and Oak Hill took her away for the better part of 3 quarters. She didn't score her first point until the third quarter, and it came from the free throw line, and her first field goal was with under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter, and the game was pretty well decided after the first quarter. But Oak Hill they're so athletic and so long. Defensively, they're just really good. We talked in the gym a little while ago. I'm excited to see what it's going to look like when they, square off with Alexandria. I know Alexandria is probably a lot of similarities between the two. Jack Hosier, I don't think there's any question she'll be the best player on the floor that night, but
not taking anything away from Oak Hill's kids. Well, no doubt about it.
Yeah. I just, I know who her dad is, and I know what kind of player he was, and she's a Division I commit, maybe a signee by now.
She is, Vermont.
But coming out of the CIC to get Division I, players, that says a lot in basketball, because that doesn't happen every year in the CIC. Not that there's a lot of good college basketball players that come out of the CIC, but very few Division I college basketball players out of the CIC. But Oak Hill has proven to be one of the top defensive teams in Class 2A, I think, and them and Alexandria are similar in that respect too. And that's kind of what swayed the game tonight. Missisinewa hung in there with them. It was 10-10 with 2 minutes into the second quarter, and Missisinewa went almost 5 minutes without another bucket, and Missisinewa or Oak Hills was up 19-12. 9-2 run, 7 in a row, 9-2 run to go up 7 at halftime, and then The third quarter was similar. Missisinewa hung in there, was within 4 with 6 minutes to go in the quarter, and Oak Hill scored 5 straight and ended up being up 8 at the end of the third. And then the fourth quarter was just, a masterclass in what they do. They get the shots that they want to shot. They were 5 for 6. Oak Hill was 5 for 6 from the floor, forced 5 turnovers.
And it was over pretty early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they went up 12 with just under 5 to play, and then Missisinewa only didn't score the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds of the game. Oak Hill just shut them out and iced the game from the line, and it's an impressive group, and it's a young group. That's the scary part about Oak Hill. It's a very young group.
Nothing against the seniors, but their better days are ahead.
Yeah, they're Liz Godfrey and Alexa Myers are great kids and great athletes, and have done a nice job, very nice job leading this young group. But I don't want to go down put a whole lot of pressure on this Oak Hill group, but they remind me a little bit of
that
2019 state championship team when they were sophomores. I mean,
as long as they work as hard as that group did, great things could go ahead.
I don't think there's any question that the work ethic is similar. I think that's kind of talking to Coach King, Oak Hill's wrestling coach. That's in the water in Western Grant County is what he likes to say. And you just look through who those young kids are with Landry Hardman and Erica Newhouse. They're both soccer players. They're both CIC champions in soccer. Obviously, they don't have a Grant Ford championship because they won't let Marion in the Grant Ford tournament, but for soccer. But they've won 2 sectionals in a row in soccer. Cora Pond, same thing. She's part of that soccer team that's been on a roll, and they're all 3 sophomores. And you got Morgan Cates, who's arguably the most valuable player in CIC volleyball this year, and Bree Daly, who's a freshman, who was probably was an all-conference volleyball player, and there's 5 girls right there that and they've got all the bases covered, and I don't want to leave out junior Lydia Trexler. I was praying for her that the knee injury she went down with tonight's not serious, and she'll be able to get back on the floor soon. But Lydia's been in that lineup for a couple years now and has grown. And between Trexler, Cates, and Daly, you're talking 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1", and they're all underclassmen. So,
before we get to how everyone can read your coverage of this tournament, I just want to say that this is a message to Missisinewa, Eastbrook, Madison-Grant, and Oak Hill. If one of you doesn't have a team in one of the sports, put Marion in there. Give all the kids another chance to win a championship. Have a Grant 4 and do it with soccer.
That's what I've started thinking about that, like at the end of the soccer season, and every time I'm around the ADs, I'm old and I forget stuff. So I've been meaning to have that conversation with the ADs to see if that might be something that can be done, and I just haven't yet. And Marion plays Oak Hill in soccer. They play Missisinewa in soccer, so it wouldn't be that difficult to add them into the mix, boys and girls. And I don't think Madison-Grant's going to be starting a soccer program anytime soon, just because.
And if they are, you can have a Grant 5.
Madison-Grant is so strapped to get kids out for their fall sports the way it is. You don't
definitely not in the offing now.
No. They're this big class of seniors that goes. Their football team is going to look a lot different next year, and hopefully they'll be able to have similar numbers going forward. But that would be a great thing, I think, to put Marion in the Grant 4 and have a Grant 4 soccer championship. Play it. You play it all in one day if you need to. I know that's. Yep. I've never been a big proponent after watching
on one weekend,
or especially watching. before the IHSA changed the state tournament format with regionals, and
Right.
that was all played in
Awful.
one day.
Awful.
Man,
But-
you're at that
But
level.
they're so close to each other, they could play it on Wednesday and Saturday. There's
Yeah.
no reason they can't.
Yeah.
So, no reason not to.
They may have to, the ADs may have to juggle some schedule around, but I think it could be done.
It's worth it. Playing for another trophy is worth it.
Absolutely.
And where can people read your coverage of this tournament and in general?
Well, hopefully it will be online by later tonight at Chronicle
So
Tribune.
later Saturday night?
Later Saturday night, January 4th, or Sunday morning, January 5th, if you need something to.
If you fall asleep while you're writing it?
Yeah, then there's a chance.
Yeah, I know.
I've been
Believe
off.
me.
I've been off the clock since 6 o'clock, so I got my 32 hours in this week plus the holiday pay they give me.
I think Grant County's lucky to have you as hard as you work for.
I'm lucky. I'm the lucky one.
Yes, you are too.
I get to cover.
It's a fantastic job.
Cover sports in my hometown, my home county.
That's right.
I'm a Marion boy by birth and probably by death, and
But Grant County's lucky to have you.
you're kind. You're very kind.
It's true.
Very, very kind.
All right. Anything else about where they can get stuff? And
No, just the chronicletribune.com. We are in a transition phase right now. This is our first week. We've been a 5-day-a-week print publication for the last 4 or 5 years. Well, actually, 8 years. Since my 9-year anniversary is in June, so we were doing 5 days a week up until this week. We are going down to 2 days a week and really want to put our focus on the digital product that we have. Digital subscriptions aren't as costly as the paper subscription. And that was when I talked to my boss about it. We're not changing the news that you will be able to get off our website, be it news or sports, will be and has been a lot more timely than what you get in print.
Right.
With the way print is gone, you're looking at 36-hour-old news. By the time I get out here and I may have this story done by midnight. Probably.
Still cool to have as a record, but it's more of a record now than it is news.
Yeah, and as a sports guy, and you can relate. I feel like I've kind of been the stepchild of the paper, anyways, and with very limited space in print, I get page to 2 pages daily. Now, so far through the first week, that's what they've given me for my 2 days. So, I wrote a year in review story for New Year's Day that went online Tuesday night. It didn't make it into print for Wednesday, and because of the other stuff that I had going on, it's still online, but it will not go into print just because it was an extensive. It was 100 inches of copy. Looking back at, and I didn't even get a touch on everything. I could probably fill 2 or 3 pages with all the,
Sure.
I like to reminisce about all the fun stuff that I did too.
Those are great things to be able to do every year.
Through the year, and second year in a row, the top story in Grant County sports is Indiana Wesleyan's volleyball team being the NAIA National Championship winners. Pretty amazing stuff, but that story's online. You'll be able to get this Grant 4. You can go back and read about the Grant 4 boys game that was played at Oak Hill on December 28th, and anything else. I got a weekend college basketball roundup that I did today that will go in Wednesday's paper. Well, and I got another one that I got to do for the Crossroads League. Picked up, resumed play today. Indiana Wesleyan's women, number 2 in the country, beat undefeated. They're still undefeated, and they beat undefeated St. Francis today up in Fort Wayne, and in a really big game to kick off the second semester of college basketball in Grant County. I've got a pretty extensive recap of yesterday's girls wrestling sectionals. I wasn't able to make it to Alexandria, and it's very cool that the IHSA has brought on girls wrestling, and really cool. Grant County had two sectional champions. Junior Alana Montgomery from Marion and sophomore Haley Corporal from Eastbrook are sectional champions, and first in the history of Grant County sports and Indiana sports for that matter. But I know there's 13 girls total that are going to go to regional this Friday in Alexandria, and they're essentially 2 wins away from going to a state championship meet. So a lot of cool stuff going on. Indiana Wesleyan and Taylor are getting together in Upland Wednesday to play a men's and women's basketball doubleheader, and planning on being there, and just a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff.
So I just want you to know that you're always welcome to come on and talk about any of that stuff. I want the Marion Chronicle to know that we are always looking for good partners, and we love the Marion Chronicle. So we hope that we continue our partnership, and good luck with the new format and all that. So
I just want to make sure I don't bore your listeners, man.
Never. You always say that you're a blabber, but that's exactly what we need for a podcast, people who talk a lot. All right, Scott, thank you once again so much, and again, you're always welcome.
I appreciate you having me, and I always enjoy talking about high school sports in Indiana, and especially here in my home in Grant County.
And we love to talk about high school sports and college sports and pro sports and the Olympics, and we love to talk about almost every sport that there is. Maybe cricket, I haven't learned yet. Rugby seems interesting, but I don't understand the rules. Because it seems like it would be too easy according to the rules, but I don't know. Somebody explain rugby to me, please.
It looks like to me it's a team full of wrestlers playing football with no pads.
And no breaks between the plays.
That's what rugby looks like to me.
That's all it is. Yeah. All right, thanks again, Scott.
I'm not trying to make any rugby players mad.
No. Believe me, I don't think I respect any sports athletes as much as rugby players, man. That's brutal. Yeah. Brutal, man. Maybe water polo.
Different mentality.
Maybe water polo. That just seems impossible. Thanks again, Scott.
All right, Greg. Take care.
And thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow. Scott, we are on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and now we're at YouTube. You can go and subscribe at all of them if you want, but pick out your favorite one, whatever one you're listening to now. And I know that you've listened to this Central Indiana Sports Report and you've thought, you know what, I know somebody who would enjoy this podcast. Please share this with them. We'd really appreciate it.
I don't know if this is verifiable, but we have the best listeners on the planet.
And the Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.